Hey guys, this is Sports with Dylan. This is my 2023 midseason NFL mock draft. This is based entirely off of my own draft prospect rankings and my own draft order predictions. The Texans have endless needs, but why not grab the best player available in CJ Stroud? Justin Fields is proving me right. He is a future superstar quarterback, but he doesn't have anyone surrounding him with talent at all. His offensive line is terrible, and his pass catching core is terrible. I figure you might as well start with the offensive line so Justin Fields doesn't die. The Panthers have not yet found a suitable Cam Newton replacement, but hopefully for them, Bryce Young can be that. The Colts have been an absolute mess this season, and Matt Ryan is part of the problem. I believe the Colts need a fresh start with another young rookie quarterback. Maybe the next Andrew Luck, who hopefully doesn't retire early. I should have just used Peyton Manning as the example there. The Seahawks defense is lacking quite a bit, so why not start to improve that defense with Jalen Carter? Remember that Lions-Seahawks game where there were so many points scored because both defenses were terrible? Well, the Lions were part of that game too, so they should also draft a defensive lineman. You know who else needs a defensive lineman? The Falcons. The Giants have been surprisingly good this year, but they're still lacking in a number 2 cornerback after they released James Bradberry. Not even 2 years ago, the Raiders drafted Alex Leatherwood in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft. At the final roster cuts, before the season started, they cut him, which means that they now again desperately need offensive line help. Multiple years in a row, I have said that the Steelers need to draft an offensive lineman. But first they went for running back Najee Harris, who needs offensive line to help him. Then they went for quarterback Kenny Pickett, who also needs an offensive line to help him. And we can truly see that this season. Both of them have been let down by that offensive line. Imagine Christian Barmore and Brian BRYCE lining up next to each other. That would be extremely fun to watch. The Jaguars are in a weird position right now, because no position group on the roster is terrible, but none of them are amazing either. But I figure they could use another safety. The Eagles' secondary has been amazing this season. But with James Bradberry going into free agency, I figure you might as well fix the void with a younger cornerback. Since they traded William Jackson III, then they could use a new young cornerback on a cheap contract who could potentially become a superstar. Geno Smith has been on fire this season, but he's 32 years old and a free agent, and I suspect there will be multiple teams trying to get him. Plus, as I mentioned, he's getting up there in age, so it'd be wise to have someone younger. Even if you can re-sign Geno Smith, someone Geno Smith can mentor for a couple of years, and then Will Levis can eventually take over. George Fant, the Jets' left tackle, is a free agent. And Mekhi Becton has major injury concerns, the Jets' right tackle. So it would be wise to draft a new offensive lineman, even if they do manage to bring George Fant back. The Cardinals' defense just hasn't been the same this year. They could use a new, young, rising star linebacker, and I realize this is sounding like Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons, but hopefully TRENTON SIMPSON can actually turn into a superstar. The Texans have always focused on building up a strong defense, and I believe they should go back to that with Noah Sewell. The Bengals' defense has just seemed a bit lacking this season, and I think it would be really, really good for them to get a superstar like Nolan Smith. The Cowboys' defense, on the other hand, has been amazing this season, but with a couple free agents and a couple aging players, it would be wise to replace them with someone younger and cheaper. Aside from Joey Bosa, Tom Telesco has not been great at drafting front seven players for the Chargers, but hopefully it works this time with B.J. Ojulari. What did I say? Did I say the Packers desperately needed pass-catching help before the season even started? Yes, I did. Was I right? Yes, I was. Jeff Okudah is starting to look a bit better, but they lack a number 2 cornerback on the roster. Since Taylor Lewan has struggled with injuries recently, it would be wise to get a young, not injury-prone offensive tackle to eventually take over and sub in while Taylor Lewan is injured. I think Tom Brady's going to retire after this season. So it would be very smart of them to get a new superstar young quarterback. The Vikings are in the same situation as the Cowboys. Their defense has been great this season, but a couple aging players and a couple pending free agents means that it would be smart to get a rookie. We have seen this season that Lamar Jackson needs some true number 1 receivers. And I've got to give him credit for how well he's played with the options he has, because Aaron Rodgers has not done that. But now with Jordan Addison, Lamar Jackson can be even better. Hopefully, for the Chiefs' sake, they re-sign Orlando Brown Jr., in which case this pick will change. But since they haven't re-signed him yet, then it would be wise to draft an offensive tackle. There was a brief period of time when prime Cam Newton and prime Christian McCaffrey were on the same team at the same time. That would be able to be replicated with Jalen Hurts and Bijan Robinson. The Broncos acquired this pick by trading away Bradley Chubb, so why not find his replacement in Isaiah Foskey? Despite their struggles of recent, I am still predicting the Bills to win the Super Bowl. And their only major hole on the roster is still offensive line, so I project them to grab Osias Torrance to help fix that. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon.